everybody. Welcome back to A Brief on Grief. Today, I'm feeling a lot of inspiration about this certain topic. I just recorded a video with a mentor of mine about the wobbliness of doing something for the first time. The wobbliness of trying something when you know you're not going to be perfect at it. Whether it's putting yourself out there to create something that you're passionate and excited about, but really it's brand new and scary, or whether you're looking to put your heart out in a different way in a relationship, and that's scary and wobbly and awkward. So I see this as an absolute necessity of life. The life that I'm choosing anyway right now in the last couple years, very, very honestly, that I've shared in videos before, I used to live a totally different life. I used to live in a lot of fear and uncertainty and shame and anger and resentment. And I kind of lived as that as my default. And that has totally changed for me now. And it's almost like the fear that I embrace now is the fear of newness and the fear and the excitement that comes with trying something vulnerable and courageous and putting yourself out there. So this is getting inspired also by the video that I just did, but the inspiration for that video that I did before was from a podcast that Brene Brown did like more than a year ago, back in 2020, on FFTs. I'm going to say the politically correct version of FFT. So it's about freaking first times is what she calls it. You can look for it in Unlocking Us is the name of her podcast under the title of FFTs if you want to learn more about it. But she basically talks about just that life is full of the awkward, scary, vulnerable first times, right? Whether we're looking at when we started walking as a baby, we got to a point where we decided that crawling wasn't good enough and we wanted to walk like we saw everybody else. And we were not perfect at it at the beginning, and we'd fall down and we get back up. And that's kind of like a lesson for everyday life, I think, even as an adult. But somewhere along the way, we lost our way. We got told messages saying that it wasn't safe to do things that we weren't perfect at right away. It wasn't safe to fall down and fail in front of other people. And then we just kind of stopped trying and we stay in our safe comfort zone. And this is not to be judgmental on ourselves, because we're staying in our comfort zone as a form of protection for ourselves, because it honestly does not feel safe to push the boundary and fail and fall. So, but I'm realizing in the last couple years is that moving forward in that wobbliness of fear and awkwardness is where the thriving and the joy and the fire of life is and I've realized that this is kind of the way that I want to always live. This is the way I want to live my life all the time now. And that is one of the aspects of when I compare the way I lived before to the way I live now. That's one of the biggest things, is that there was so much more fear and so much more fear that held me back from living in a way like that before. Whether it was trying new things or being in new relationships or speaking up in a way, authentic way that I never have before, risking that fear of disconnection, that fear of not belonging that we risk when we speak up against things or speak up and set boundaries for things. But I'm realizing as I do that, wobbly and vulnerably do that, yeah, it's scary, but the power that comes out of that when you're authentically acting for yourself and authentically acting in something that inspires you and it is passionate and it gives you that energy to kind of keep moving forward in the face of fear. And then the more you do that and the more you kind of conquer it or survive it, conquering is not, you're not going to conquer anything the first time, but the more you survive it and see that you can survive it, it gives you the more energy and courage to keep doing that. And it almost that wobbliness gets normalized. You get more used to feeling wobbly and you don't feel like you're going to die when you put yourself in a situation where you feel that way. So it doesn't feel as unsafe, it doesn't feel as threatening, and it's the power. I think it's the power, the secret sauce. I think is Brene, how she said it in her podcast, is the secret sauce of living a vulnerable, courageous, connection, love, joy-filled life. So, and I realized that a lot of us, the fear that holds us back is that we're fearing things falling apart. We're fearing the loss, right? We're fearing the loss of expectation, or the loss of a dream, or the shame of feeling like a failure when something falls through and doesn't go the way we planned. So again, in the loss, then there's grief involved in it, right? So it's that holding us back, letting that fear hold us back so that we protect ourselves from the grief of any loss, of us not doing it perfect, or the loss of it failing in how we see it. But there is no more important risk to take, I believe, in life. I'm really grounding in that now. There's no substitute for that, and the power and the energy that comes out of that, and what you learn about yourself so that you can continue to do and live like that, is priceless. So yeah, that's the fire inside me now, and that's the same fire that I'm talking about in this, is the same fire that brought me to create this video today and tell you about it today. So yeah, thanks everybody. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.